Well, here we are. My name is Daniel, aka Zerk, from my actual YouTube channel, and this is
I'm Jazz. I'm his friend.
my dear friend that we have made since we moved over here. Because for most of you that know already, who know me, that I moved from California to Texas, and once I came here, it was just me and my girlfriend, and it took us forever basically to make a lot of friends and stuff. So these are one of our first friends, her and her brother. Actually, it's her and her brother, and we met them together. So it was a pretty crazy story. But this is me and Jazz, and this is the
This is our podcast, baby.
yeah,
right now.
this is the start to our podcast. This is just the first pilot ever, the first get go at it. So this is the what was it? It was never a phase.
Yeah.
It was never a phase podcast. And this podcast, what we want to do with this is we don't want to put ourselves in a bubble. That's the thing. We did not want to give ourselves a name of like oh, we're only going to be doing these types of podcasts. We want to be able to just venture into as much stuff as we possibly can. We want to just be free to talk about whatever we want to talk about. Like, I don't want it to just be like a strictly political podcast, or I don't want it to be strictly... And I just don't want it to... I don't even know why I mentioned political to begin with, but I just basically don't want it to be...
Go straight for the jugular.
I'm sorry, but I just don't want it to be any specific type of podcast. So that's the reason why we kind of just went with the name of what fit both of us.
Yeah.
Because it really fits both of us, because I feel like that's how me and her connected so much from the get-go, was basically just based off of us karaoke night, dude. Just being like, oh, you know that song? Like, you know, like, oh my god, we're just such emo kids at heart. And like, she's only 2 years older than me, right? You're 31?
Yeah, fudge.
You just turned 31, right?
Turned 31.
Just turned 31, so happy late birthday.
Moon, brother.
I'm sorry, I was just like, hey. But I'm 29. I'm turning 30 this year, which is scary. I'm turning the big 30, so I am right there behind you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm turning the big 30 this year, and we're only 2 years apart, so we kind of basically grew up in the same era. And I feel like I really grew up in her era because I had a cousin that's 2 years older than me, and I learned everything from him.
Yeah.
He put me on to everything. That I don't know if you saw my picture on Instagram. It was the one where it was me and another guy, and it was when I was all in. I had like a bunch of beads and the long hair.
Seen.
Yes, and that was my cousin. That's the cousin. It was like and me and him just like grew up together. He was basically like my brother almost, because his family, his dad and his mom worked, and he has two little sisters, and my grandma was the babysitter, but my grandma lived at my house. So they lived somewhere else, but they enrolled them into my school, so that after school they would come with me to my house, and grandma would watch them until they got off of work and were able to come get them. So I grew up with them, so I like learned everything from this fool, like all the emo stuff and stuff like that, like just in that generation.
I'm still stuck on the fact that you called it a different generation, because I think we're both, aren't you, like technically a millennial?
It's like it is the same generation, but I still feel like from what my friends were to his friends and everything, it was still such a different, there was still a gap in like the trends that were going on and stuff is what I mean. Because when I grew up, and like my age of high school was, you're a jerk, skinny jeans and just all the when the fuck boys started to emerge,
like the diamond shirts,
the fucking crazy spiked ass hair, and like, dude, I grew up in that era, and his era was more like swag and like the rap scene, like shit like
Soulja
that.
Boy?
Soulja Boy shit. That's what I'm saying. Like the glasses, the big ass tees, and all this shit. So it's like me and him, he grew up in that era, but that's what I'm saying. I got the best of both worlds though, and that's what I loved about it, was I was able to grow up with my friends and in my face, but then I hung out with all his friends too, because he would invite me to all not that I feel like I need to say this, but he is gay.
Yeah.
And he was in color guard, and he was in dance, and so like he would take me to all like their parties and shit.
Yeah.
And dude, those, like, honestly, I feel like the people in band and all that shit are low-key more turned than the regular people, just because, and especially because I feel like they're so comfortable within each other that they get crazier when
because they're already judged so hard, so like they're not worried about.
Once they're with their people and they're not judged at all, they go crazy. Like, I was going into some crazy stuff, like What the hell even happened here? I don't know. Oh, there we go. I don't know why that even went to sleep, but my bad. I switched that. But yeah, I guess when you're not live streaming, but see that's what I'm saying. This is why it's the.
Yeah, it's a little.
This
trial.
is the what was I calling it earlier? Like the paper shit, like the. I guess I'm gonna need to start changing these. I forgot that I even need to start changing these. When I forgot about that, but yeah, that's why this is the trial. You know what I mean? The rough draft. There we go. We're scraping everything out. You know what I mean? But
we were just born, so we don't got feet yet.
Exactly.
I mean, wait, we do got feet. We just
got feet.
Gotta learn how to walk.
We're crawling right now.
We're crawling.
We're learning. We're gonna learn how to walk eventually. But basically, like I was saying, man, off the tangents and everything, back from the jump, both of us, it's pretty crazy because we both, it's like we were meant to link up or we were meant to meet each other because what ended up happening really was that the both of us, without even knowing each other, they moved out here from another place, but they were already in Texas, just in another part of Texas. So where were you from? Where did you guys come from?
We actually grew up in Lubbock, Texas, which is like, I always say West Texas, but it's not West Texas. People actually like jump down your throat for that. It's like over there by like Amarillo, close to New Mexico.
Okay.
So it's very country. Very
like in the cut, yeah.
Yeah, like
boonies type.
Trucks everywhere, dirt, tumbleweeds.
Okay.
All going through it. So yeah, that's where we're originally from. But we moved to Austin when I was in my junior year of high school. So.
Okay. That's when you guys moved to Austin, you saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And man, I love Austin. I mean, we're close to Dallas right now.
Yeah.
Dallas is pretty cool. I haven't gotten a chance to
But it's definitely not the vibe of Austin at all.
Austin's a different beast.
At all. Austin, well, we've only gone one time. We went last year for her birthday, it was around her birthday.
Yeah.
Was it last year or was it the year before? I don't even remember, to be honest, but we went. It's just that, because it's the college party scene. I feel like out here, they might have that out here, but it's not as crazy as out there. Just because out there, they have like such a, like they have a place for where all the college people go. Yeah. And I feel like out here, they don't have that. So it's like out here, it's like the college people are just spread out doing their own thing. But over there, it's like they have the boiling pot for them, which is like the 6th Street or whatever. And like, yeah, when we went there, it was crazy. Like I remember it was just, all we did was just drink all day long.
Well, that's what's funny. Like when you live in Austin or around Austin, because I say Austin, but I lived in Round Rock. Just like here, I say Dallas, but we live, further away. Mm-hmm. You just don't ever go there. Like I remember going a couple times when I was in college, but that's because I didn't go to UT. I went somewhere else. But like when you live there, 6th Street is so oversaturated. It's
that
crazy.
you don't even want to go, yeah.
No, like there's fights. I'm talking sardines in the middle of the street, bro.
Oh,
huge street.
Dude, I know. Well, when we went, I forgot. I forgot what time they did it because we were there in the day. We got there kind of early, but after a certain time, all the cops started showing up.
Yeah. They
shut down the whole street because they just already know. Horses, yeah, all the people on the horses, and they literally shut down the whole street just so that everybody could walk through the street because there's so much people. There's so much people that they're not gonna fit on the sidewalks.
Yeah. So
they just shut down the entire street to just let everybody walk through it, and it was just insane. There was just I remember there was so much people. So much going on, but luckily when we went, we didn't see no bullshit happen. Luckily, because we were only there for one night too. So that one night that we were there, we got lucky that we didn't have to deal with no bullshit. There was no fighting, no gunshots or anything. You know what I mean? There was nothing of chaos going on. At least by the time we left, because we left, I would say fairly early. To what it probably can get to out there.
Yeah.
And so by the time we left, it wasn't that bad, honestly.
Yeah, I mean. Certain nights. Well, right now they have the whole. We can maybe talk about this later, but there's a bunch of young men being found in bodies of water out there, being murdered.
What is that lake called though? The
Lady
river?
Bird Lake.
Lady Bird. Yeah. Yes, I've heard about that. That's what she kept telling me about it because we stayed right next to it. So she was like, "Oh, that's." I remember we went. I had went to go. We went to go because I took weed since we drove.
Yeah.
So I took some weed with me because I was like, well, we're driving. It's better than I've never tried to take no shit with me on a plane. You know what I mean? So it's like we were driving. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take some weed with me. And yeah, so I'm not trying to disrespect the hotel or nothing or do anything like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just go for a walk. so I could go smoke this blunt.
Yeah.
And then we went, and that's where we were literally walking like on the side, and she was just telling me like, dude, this is like the spot, like literally where they'd be finding like, it's insane. Like, yeah, we could definitely talk about that more.
Yeah, because there's a bunch to that, dude. There's like a whole thing with like the bars on Rainy Street. Like they went through a whole thing where a bunch of bars got closed down and like people got in trouble for possibly like roofing people. Like it's a whole thing. So we'll definitely have to get into that one of these episodes.
Yeah, for sure. That, we could even probably go on a whole episode. About that shit or something.
Man.
Like, that would be pretty crazy, but yeah, man, it's just insane. But back to us and how we met. That's the thing. That's what we were really trying to get back on was how we even met, and just the fact that I feel like it was just meant to be, like our relationship. It just ended up, especially because how we both wanted to do something like this.
Yes.
So the fact that we ended up coming together and now we're making it happen, it's like we're right here making it happen. You know, It's like it sucks. It sucks. How hard this shit can be or whatever, like how stressful it's like obviously just the whole setup right now and everything, but it's like, yo, we got it happening and it's happening right here right now. But from how, like I was saying, basically back to what I was trying to make the point of is that, so she came from Lubbock, and me and my girlfriend Jackie, for those of you who watch my channel already, you guys already know my girlfriend Jackie, me and her moved from California and we got out here. We've been here since 2019, I believe. And when we got out here, we were just living with her mom. We were just head down, just trying to grind to be able to get this house. And so we were just like head down, just fucking working. Like didn't even have time to try to meet anybody. And like the only friends we had were her coworkers. Because then she met a couple like her cool coworkers, and they ended up like inviting us out and like, oh, like let's go have drinks and blah blah. Yeah. So that's how we first started, and then I made some friends from work. So those are like really the only friends we have. And you, like, I'm not even lying to you. You and your brother are like the only friends that we made like outside of this, outside of work, I should say. Yeah. Besides there's another guy, but see, I wouldn't even consider them friends. They came one time to the UFC party we had. It's like there was some guys that we met at the brewery at Three Nations, and it's like, and we invited them and their girlfriends and stuff, and it's like we felt like pretty close to them, but it's like they don't be hitting me up like the way like you guys hit us up and shit like that. It's like, dude, it's just been a whole, like I said though, it's just so weird that I feel like we both kind of have that. Like, I feel like we were both able to feel the energy from each other. Just even from the jump, because the fact, like, the one thing that I told Jackie, and, like, that is very important to me, or, like, that I noticed, is because I really only have probably, like, 3 or 4 friends where I'm close with their family. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I was like, the way that, like, you guys, and even your parents, your mom and your dad, have just like accepted us and taken us over to your guys' house, and they like know us already, and I feel like we're even cool with your parents. Yeah. And it's like that shit is like what I was like, dude, like that's so hard to find because I don't have that, and I hardly even have that even with the people back at home. And like I said, I have like maybe 3 people that I can go to their house and their parents will have no problem with me spending the night or something. You know what I mean? Because they know me, they're cool with me. They see me almost as their son too, because I was like always over at their house and stuff like that, and it's just crazy to me how that you guys, it was just that same vibe, but what tripped me out was off the rip, and that's where I just knew. I was just like, dude, these are good ass people, and it's like we were just meant to be fucking friends, because it's like there's just no way that if we didn't click off the bat, that we would be like that close to your guys, just your parents. I feel like that's like a big thing. That's like such a huge thing to me in my mind, because like especially the older generation, it's like so much about respect and shit like that. And I feel like they seen the respect from us, and you know what I mean?
Of course.
It's a beautiful thing, man. I'm just so thankful and happy to have you guys in our fucking life, because it's like I said, we didn't have nobody else. And it was, like you said, you were telling us the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, you were literally saying the exact same stuff about.
Yeah, that's exactly. So, like, I remember the first time we met y'all, we were at a bar, because that's how we met. And I think when we first got there, the bar was pretty empty. We were playing pool, and it was just me and my brother. And we started playing, I love to play. I have this thing with touch tunes, or like any music thing. I'll go spend like $50 in that thing. Like I'll play the music
on
I
the
want to
little
hear.
karaoke machine thing. Yeah.
Just because I like to hear the music I like to hear, and
Uh-huh.
I was playing, I think it was Beso Pluma, and like a bunch of Mexican music. And eventually, towards the end of the night, y'all came over to us, I think.
It was Jackie.
Yeah.
Because she was like, because even when you guys first started playing it,
Yeah.
Jackie was literally like, she grabbed me like right away. She's like, who's the? Because we were going there all the time. That was like our spot. Juba's was our spot, so we were going there all the time. And like Jackie was literally like we know that nobody there be playing shit like that. Like it's all just they all play country music or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like when we were there, that's what I'm saying. We were playing. Then she was like, who the fuck is playing that? And she kept telling me, she's like, who do you think is playing that? We just kept like looking around too. And I remember like us even being like, I bet you it's them, because like we kept looking around. And we're like, ain't nobody else gonna be playing that shit. We're like, I bet you it's them. And then eventually that's when she ended up like going up to you guys and being like, oh. Like, you guys are the ones playing that shit, huh? And, yep, and that's where it all blossomed from, man.
Exactly. It was like the peso and like, man, yeah, that was a good night. I remember like, y'all almost got in a fight that night too.
Basically me and Brennan, like, her brother, we literally had almost gotten into a fight just over some bullshit too. That's what's the funniest thing. It was over the chalk. If you guys play pool, you know the little chalk thing that you chalk your cue stick with? That's literally what the fight ended up being over, on some stupid ass bullshit too. Just because there was this fucking white dude with this, there was these fucking 4 white boys that were all homies, whatever. They were playing pool, and we go there all the time. We were there all the time. Me and Jackie, that was our spot. Because before, there was this brewery that opened up near our house too, but this place wasn't open yet. So the only bar we had was that place. And we were always going there. We loved it because it had a pool table. It's literally, I have a pool table now. That place inspired me to get a pool table. Because we ended up going there so much that we're like, man, we're wasting so much money here. All the money we're spending on this shit, we could buy a pool table with. And then we could just fucking do this shit here. So we were just playing pool, like I said. We go there all the time. The fucking chalk. This place only had one chalk for all 4 tables. They have 4 tables. Let me remind you that. There's 4 tables and only one thing of chalk. So these dudes, we know all the locals, we know all the people. They were random dudes that just so happened to want to go somewhere, because it was a weekend night too, like a Friday night or a Saturday night. So it's just some dudes that wanted to go out, and this is not their local area, and they ended up going to this bar and they're playing pool, and they have the chalk. They're the ones with the one and only chalk, and I'm guessing nobody else went to go get the chalk or use the chalk, because then we go and we don't even, this is the funniest part, we don't even take the chalk from them. We're just like, we're gonna use it, like, all right, like we just need to borrow this real quick, we're gonna use it, and then we put it back on their table. And then the one dude, this is the only guy too, let me tell you this, the only guy who had an issue or a problem with us, he starts murmuring some shit about you, like some shit about like how, you know, this is a fucking pool place. You can go, like, you could go ask them for some chalk and they'll give you some chalk. So then he says this shit to me, and all I tell him, and I'm not even being rude either when I say it, all I tell him is like this is the only chalk they have here. And then he just like kind of laughs in my face and like then says it again, like he's like, bro, this is a pool place, like they have pool tables here, they're gonna have chalk, just go ask the bartender. And I was like, bro, I'm telling, and then I just start telling him, I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, this is the one and only chalk, like we have to share it. I was like, well, I'm not even trying to take it, like we're just gonna use it, and there, you can have it back. So then that's all we say, that's all the exchange said, that's all the exchange is. And then we start walking back, and then Jackie starts asking me like, what's going on, because she noticed that it took a little longer than it should have. So she's like, well, what the fuck was that about, like what was the confrontation, like what was that? And then I just start saying like, oh, he was just being like a smart ass or whatever. And then Brendan says something like yeah, he was just being a douchebag, and I guess this guy hears it or something, because then from the fucking across, like the pool tables are 4, so it's like boom, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're on like this corner one, and they're all the way on this corner one, and from all the way in that corner, he's like, what'd you say it to my face, or like blah. And then he comes stomping over and like blah blah, he's like what? And then he's like, what'd you say? He's all like try think that we're scared or something. So then in his face, I'm telling him, I was like I said that you're being a smart ass, because you are being a smart ass. And then And then he does that shit. That's how I knew he was just full of shit, because he starts saying basically the same shit. Like, you won't say it to my face. So I was like, and I remember even being like, dude, I'm right here saying it to your face. You were being a smart ass.
I walked in the middle of that interaction because I had left to get more beer for me and my brother. And I come back and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm trying to like mediate, and I'm like, dude, like, and Jackie too, she's trying to mediate. She's like, hey, dude, it's chalk. Like, let it go. Just let it go, you know, and he just keeps going.
But then do you remember him even being like hella like misogynistic type shit? That's what you're gonna get into?
I was about to say. He goes, oh, this is the men talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
Yup. That's when it really got funny. He was like the men are talking right now, blah blah blah. And then it's funny because everybody's starting to go at it a little bit, and I'm still right there just saying like what else do you want me to say? I called you a smartass. Like, that's literally what I said. And it's like, he's still trying to, like, get something out of me. I'm like, bro, I'm calling you a smartass because what you said. So this stuff starts going on. And then he finally goes over there, and his friends are, like, all embarrassed. Like, these fools are, like, not even trying to look over, like, whatever. And then Brendan and, like, even Jackie start saying some shit about, like, look, your boys don't even got your back, bro. Like, what, like... Because he started saying some shit about that.
Like, at the table like this.
Like, we'll catch you guys outside. Or like, blah, blah. When are you guys going to leave? And blah, blah. And like, so then he goes over there. And then it's so funny. Because then right after that, as soon as the altercation stops and he just goes back over there, the bartender comes up. And she's like, what the fuck is going on?
I wouldn't get the bartender. Because I was like...
I just remember her coming up and being like, what the fuck was going on?
We were new to town at that time. This is our first time at the bar. And we had been there all day. So, like, I told the bartender, look, we've been here all day. Like, we're not trying to cause problems. We know there's one chalk here. Like, this dude is tripping over the chalk. Like, can you please just go tell him there's only one chalk because he doesn't believe us and we had to use the chalk. And that's when the bartender came over and tried to, like, mediate. But I wouldn't get it because we were new to town. I didn't want to cause problems. Like, I knew we have 2 bars here that are worth going to.
Yeah, exactly.
One's a brewery and one's a bar that's technically a pizza place that stays open until 12 or 1.
No, I think like 2.
Oh, now? I think they just changed.
Sometimes they stay open until 2. I think only on the weekends. During the week, it's like they close probably like at 10 or something. Yeah. And then on the weekends, they close at like 2 now or some shit.
Yeah, but we live in a small town.
So those are like the only places you can go if you're not trying to drive far.
Yeah.
It's like if you're trying to fucking drive, then you can go a bunch of other places. Yeah. But it's like these places are literally to us like a 5-minute drive or something. You know what I mean? It's like literally for them, maybe a 5-minute drive. For us, less than a 5-minute drive. So it's like, these are the places that it's just like, we're just trying to go up the street because it's literally like right up the street. Yeah. And so she comes over and she asks us about that, like about what's going on. And like I said, so she said that she had already told her. I didn't even know this. This is my first time hearing this. So. But she comes over and she asks me what's going on. And I just tell her, I'm like, yo, those dudes are tripping over the chalk. I was like, and I asked her too. I was like, because I remember somebody else saying it earlier. That was the thing. I remember somebody trying to use some chalk, and they're like, oh, this is the only one. Yeah. So then I asked the girl, I was like, is that the only chalk? Because I was like, they're over there tripping over the chalk, so if you could just get us another chalk, that would be perfect. And she's like, nah, everybody keeps losing them. That's the one and only one. And then that's the other funny thing that, like, when she said that, I'm like, even I kind of had that mentality of, like, I'm not blaming the place for having one chalk. Like, he's the one that's over here with the mentality of, like it's a pool place. They're gonna have fucking millions of chalk.
No,
like, bro,
it's a pizza place, bro.
It's a pizza place, first of all, and then second of all, what about the people who really lose them or take them? There's some people who have pool tables at home and they just take them shits. They're gonna pocket them. It's a tiny ass little chalk. You can pocket that so easy.
Yeah.
So it's like he's over here tripping over some fucking chalk, and then the funniest part though is that she goes and talks to him and tells him this is the only chalk you need to share it. Literally, like maybe 30 minutes later or some shit when they're done with their game, he comes with the chalk. And he just puts it down on our fucking thing, and then he's just all like, and just like walks away. He doesn't say nothing, and then like that was it for the rest of the night. Like he just did his own thing, never acknowledged us again, and like.
Did you see him go over to the other table before that, or like before he came and gave us the chalk? He
offered them the chalk or some shit. He was being all like fucking nice about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he was like that's what I'm saying. It was like once he realized what a fucking idiot he was being like. Yeah.
But anyways, that's how we met.
That's literally how we met. Then that's the first time. That's the first time that we met, and that's the craziest thing that was just the first time we met, and we kind of like we took each other's numbers and everything. Yes. I remember we got each other's numbers, but it was almost like one of those things where you're just like, it was like we ran into them. Maybe we're gonna hang out with them again.
Yeah.
Fast forward, had to be like 2 or 3 months later, right? It wasn't.
Was it that long?
It wasn't that quick, I don't think. It was either a month
It had
or
to be
two.
a month. Probably
It was a month or 2 months. But basically, what had happened was that brewery opened up right across the street from our house. Basically, like, dude, it literally takes us like 2 minutes to get there. It's literally down the street from where I live. We end up going to this brewery on the grand opening. And what's funny is we got there early because you had to get there early to get the shirts.
Yeah.
And we got there early, and then they let us in afterward. Like, they let us in before, like, because they were going to open at 12, and they let us in at 11. They let us in an hour earlier, the people who got there for, like, the grand opening to get the shirts and all that stuff. So then they let us in an hour early, and me and Jackie are kicking it there. We're having a good-ass time. We're like, hell yeah, we got the shirts. We're chilling there, getting some beer. And then, literally, as we're there, after, like, once they started letting in all the other people, we're just sitting there drinking, and then I think, I go to the bathroom, and I come back, because me and Jackie were sitting at a table where we were faced this way, and you guys were over there on that, like, that little side cut over there. So we were both faced, like, I was facing her, and she was just facing the bar. So me and her couldn't have ever seen you guys. But then when I went, I had ended up going to the bathroom, and when I came back, I saw you, I saw your brother, and I was just like, and what's crazy is I swear I didn't, like, it didn't click in my head at first. Yeah. But then the more I was sitting there, I remember I just kept turning around. And I was like, why did they look familiar? And then it ended up clicking, and I was like, hey, babe, isn't that the brother and sister we met at the bar, right? And then she's like, oh, yeah. I was like, I have to go say hi. I was like, I got to. And boom, that was it. The rest is history. I literally just, from that one interaction of me walking up and it was funny because I was kind of scared because I was like, what if they don't remember me? But then at the same time, I'm like, I'm kind of hard to not remember. I feel like I'm like not that hard of a person. The beard and everything. But I still feel like when I went up to you guys looked a little confused at first. I was like...
Well, to be honest, like... Well, I think we remembered you, but like... I was like, because I had walked in, my brother and my mom had walked in before me, and they were like, oh, look, our friends... Or Brennan was like, our friends are here from Juba, and I was like... What?
Yeah, okay, so then, you weren't there, I guess, because then I do just remember, then that's what it was, because I know your mom looked at me like, all like, oh, who's this coming up to us? Exactly. Yeah, because I've never had met your mom yet, and then Brendan, I feel like it was so little, like, he was like a little, and I was like, bro, you remember me? I was like, dude, from fucking Judah, and then it was just like, oh, yeah, and then you ended up coming in, and it was just history from there, you know what I mean?
That's why I feel it was fate to meet y'all again, because, first of all, we did not plan to go to Juba, or to
that
the
day.
brewery, because I was like, we were supposed to go to HEB and get groceries.
You told us, I remember that.
I told my mom and my brother, I was like, hey, they're giving away free t-shirts. Let's go try and get a free t-shirt. Of course, we didn't get one because we showed up too late. And then, we met y'all. We hung out with y'all. Y'all came back to our house for a while.
That was us saying. See, and that's exactly going back to what I was saying. That's the crazy shit of, like, just that trust right there is what I feel like just what started it all. Because, like, that, I'm more, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm the type of individual where, like, I don't take that lightly. Yeah. Like, I see that as, like, that's just so vulnerable to me, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying, I don't look over that. Like, I'm not the type of person that is just like, oh, they're inviting us to our house, whatever. It's like, dude, to me, that takes a lot. It's like, we're not just going to invite any fucking strangers to our house. You know what I mean? So, it's like, the fact that you guys and, like, your parents were just so cool, and then that's what I'm saying. And then just from that night, kind of just, like, solidified everything to, like, where it's just, like, we were respectful in your guys' house to where you guys were like, oh, yeah, we'll have them over again. Like, it's no problem. And that, like I said, that's just where it all stemmed from. That's where it all started, really. That's
where our mutual, like, I feel like that also that night is where we started realizing that our karaoke
aligned and like all that, because it was that night, we got all turned up, and then we're like, fucking what's it called? It was just like karaoke time, and then that's what, dude. And then that's another thing that is just like the fact that you guys even were doing that in front of us. It's just like, dude, that's like I don't know, it's like, I get it, we're all drinking and shit, but it's just like, that's still like a vulnerable thing as well. So it was like, and then I'm just telling you from the jump, I wouldn't just do that with anybody, but I just seen how cool you guys were and open you guys were, and just like so like non-judgmental that I was like, oh yeah, fuck it, I'm I'll sing my heart out right now. You know what I mean? I'll get down on some fucking karaoke.
And we're duetting, bro. Like we duetted some hardcore, like old school emo songs, like, and that's when, like, we even talked about this after, like, that's how this podcast thing came about too, like, about our interests, and like, he knew the songs that I knew, and we were like, he was doing highs, and you know, I was doing low, or vice versa, whatever. But we were just harmonizing, doing karaoke, and we were like, yeah, we're the best karaoke people ever. We were like,
we gotta be karaoke partners. We'll kill this shit. Yeah, and then that even goes into like how the fact that like I definitely want to like experiment and like try to make some music together too. Yeah. It's like that shit would be dope. Because I really love vocals. That's like a huge thing to me in music. Yeah. Like a lot of the music I listen to is like, yeah, I definitely love like my turn up shit and like listening to shit, but I'm like so much like when I'm listening to music on my own and like in headphones, it's like a lot of singing shit. I like melody and fucking and just like the I don't know. It's to me. I love when people can make music with their voice. It's like it's crazy how people can change the tones and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like do some crazy shit with their voices, and I just love that. And I feel like I want to do that, but I've just never had nobody to be able to express it with. And on top of that, like I told you, I don't know. I've never tried and never really thought of like writing music. So I feel like that's where I would struggle a lot. But you write music, so I feel like I would be so much like I feel like that would be a great start for me of being able to just you write some shit and I just sing it, because I feel that's where I would struggle is writing shit. I'm not. I feel like that is not my forte at all, is writing stuff. But I love singing. I love harmonizing. I love fucking, you know what I mean? But the writing of shit is like where I feel like will fuck my head up or like just be hard for me.
Yeah, and I've been writing music, I think, since I was like 14 or 12. And I've put like, dude, I was recording stuff on I don't remember those like old laptops that were like literally this tiny. I got like a sock and put it over this like microphone I found. Like I've been writing music my whole life. I'm not the best singer, but I like to write it and I record it all the time. I think I put out like 3 or 4 EPs when I was younger. And so like, we talked about that too. Like I like writing music. I feel like I write good music, but just not for myself. Yeah. Like if I had somebody else to sing it and I could just put it all together, it would be perfect. And that's another thing we bonded over.
That's what I'm saying. It's like maybe that, and that's where again where it's like maybe we're just the 2 missing pieces that we needed. You know what I mean? For each other is just like boom. I just feel like this is the start of a lot. Like we're gonna be able to do a lot of creative shit together. Yeah. And that's what this whole. That's literally what this whole shit is about. Like why we wanted to do this podcast and why we wanted to just start shit, because we really just want to start creating. Like we just want to create, whether it's content or whether it's music or whatever the fuck, but we want to start creating, and this is the start of all of it. Because like we said, we've talked about it a bunch, but this right here is like us finally just like fucking. We just gotta start somewhere. We gotta do it. We gotta do it, because that's the biggest thing that holds anybody back in life, is just actually doing it. And
for me, sorry.
No, go for it.
For me, I've always been too shy. Like I'm extroverted. Like I can be, but I'm also very introverted. So like I need a push sometimes to do stuff. So like I even told you, like with this, like he's the one that was like pushing me to do it. And I told him, I was like, look, I want to do it, but I need you to push me to do it, because like I'm too scared sometimes to take that leap. Yeah. And since we've met, like I've started doing so much. Like I started making content elsewhere too, like that I'm just putting out now that, you know, I wouldn't have done before. And so like I feel like we complement each other, like you said, creatively, and a lot of good stuff is just gonna come from this, and I can feel that for sure.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's just really cool. I'm ready for it. I'm definitely ready for it. I mean, that the thing is patience too, because it's like it's definitely gonna, you know, we both have busy lives. That's the shit that sucks about like we're fucking blue collar people, or you know what I mean? It's like we got regular jobs. We have to work our fucking jobs, and that's where the struggle. Like, dude, we've been wanting to do this since like last week. Yeah. And we were like trying to figure out a day, but then it's like right now, my girlfriend is pregnant. She's pregnant, so it's like this week we had our first appointment and stuff like that. So it's like this, you know, just shit's just been busy and work and all that stuff. But it's like, yo, today was the day, man. I was just fine. That's why I told Jackie, I was like, yo, what are we doing today? Because I was like, I knew we wanted to go see the brewery. Yeah. But I was like, if that's all we're gonna do, like I want to try to squeeze in some time to do this shit, because it's like she was saying, she just needs that push and that leap, and like being able to just have a space to do it and just fucking jump into it is like, this is what we needed. So it's like, here we are, and we're gonna fucking see where it takes us, you know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
Especially because you were already streaming, and like you have a good amount of followers on your stream, and like I've always wanted to stream, I've always wanted to do this type of stuff, but I just have been, like I said once again, too scared to do it. And so seeing you do that already, and like having you there as like support, like a crutch almost, like is just a big help, and it's awesome to be able to do this. And like this is like I feel like even now we're just like, it's so easy with you to just talk.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I feel like you said, we're comfortable with each other.
And that's why I was really like, yo, we just gotta fucking get the cameras on, get the mics working, the cameras working.
Yeah.
And we could just go. We'll just go. We'll just fucking press record, and we're just gonna go at it, because it's like, I already knew it was gonna be so easy to talk about shit. And it's like you were saying, the best part is that it's like, even if I feel like we could never get stuck, because it's like, even if we end up going off topic, we're just gonna fucking talk about a bunch of other shit anyway. So it's just kind of like that's another big reason why I wanted to make the podcast not in a bubble.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I already knew we were gonna fucking be the type to like want to just fucking go on tangents and just talk about a bunch of shit. It's like, that's what the whole point of this is. Like, I want a laid back podcast. That's the thing. And then it's like, eventually, that's the thing though too, is like, you can't try to force something and put yourself in a bubble at the beginning. This can just be the start of everything. That's the other thing that I've learned doing all this streaming shit, is that you don't have to try to be the best to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta start somewhere, and then you just grow and grow, and eventually, guess what? Once you get your following, that's when you can branch off and do other things, because it's easier to start something when you already have an audience behind you.
Yeah.
Because if they fuck with you for who you are, they're gonna follow you no matter what you do. They're gonna want to watch what you're doing regardless.
And I feel like people watch you because you're authentic. You know what I mean? Like, you don't try to be somebody you're not. And I feel like very much with this, like even the vibe right now, we're very much just being ourselves, and just like not trying to push, not trying to be somebody else, not trying to do other things that other people do. We're just trying to be us. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's a good thing. Like, I don't have to try and be somebody else around you. I don't have to try to pretend I'm somebody else. And I feel like you'd probably feel the same way. So that's why I felt like starting a podcast and just going off like tangents, because we've been on like 3 different topics or 4, just from trying to talk about how like we met. Yeah. And that's awesome.
And that's exactly why I was like, dude, we need to do a podcast. Yeah. Because it's just like, if we're able to talk this good, that's what people want to see. Like, people don't want to sit there and just like one word in answers, or like, you know what I mean? It's like, and like you're saying, that's why podcasts do so good. They don't want structured shit like the news, of like an interview type shit of like oh, this and this, and like, and then they have to be like all like, they can only answer a certain way because they're trying to hold an image or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or they're trying to, and it's like, that's why podcasts are so fucking successful right now. Yeah. Because they're getting to see these actors and people that they see a certain way just be themselves. Yeah. And that's what they fucking love. And then that's what I'm saying, is like, already if you already have just a following, it's like these people want to see you. Like, when I'm streaming, they don't get to see me talk about anything else, really. I'm talking about the games, and I'm talking about what's happening in the moment. Mm-hmm. But with the podcast, like, they are gonna see you talk about the other just shit that they really never see you talk about, and they're just like oh shit, like, this person's a real person, you know what I mean? It's like that, and that's where I'm telling you, like, podcasts are just, that's why that's the new wave right now. Yeah. Because they're getting to see everybody be as authentic as they can be, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like media, like with TikTok and like all these platforms, like, I feel like before everything was so much controlled by like PR and like controlled by like media and like all this other stuff. But now everybody, our smartphones, mm-hmm. You can make your content. People are doing all sorts of stuff with this content that they create at their house, like on our computers. We have the capability with so much stuff, especially now with AI coming out, to do all this stuff in your hand, from your phone. Like, I've made videos from my phone that I would have had to, years ago, take 3 or 4 hours to make on my computer. With the stuff coming out now,
And,
10 minutes.
And you know what's the craziest thing is that even back in the day, they didn't have shit where you could stream the camera straight to your computer. So it's like you'd have to record it on the camera, upload it to the computer, and then get the file on your computer, and then fuck with it on your computer, and then upload it to like YouTube or something.
Yeah.
It's like nowadays, like the fact that we could do this, and it's like right now, like I was saying, obviously this is just being recorded, but it's like we could even just be streaming this straight to YouTube, and it's like that's just where it's like. It's so crazy how easy it is now. Like you're saying, even on the phones. It's like the phones, you could just go straight live on your phone. You don't have to do anything else. Like, boom, you go straight live and people are literally able to watch you and hear what you're saying right then and there, just in the flesh. You know what I mean? But, speaking of AI, you brought up AI. Let's just bring up our first topic then. The one topic, this was the main topic we really wanted to talk about here because I knew at least half of this was going to be just us about talking about like how we met and our life or whatever. But the whole point of a podcast is to talk about news, stuff that's happening in the world. And she mentioned something about AI. So I'm just going to let her take the floor with that because I don't know nothing about this going on right now.
Yeah, so I brought up to him like Elon Musk just put the first Neuralink into somebody's head, right? So they basically took this chip that he's been working on and performed. Well, it was a robot that performed this. A robot, which
that tested it?
No, like put it in the dude's head or the person's head. I don't know if it's a girl or a guy, but from what we know, it's called Neuralink, and it's supposed to. I think he's trying to target more like people who are. Is it paraplegic? The people who can't really move their move their arms or legs like. People, so that way they have a way to communicate better. So he implanted this. It's circular. It's called Neuralink, and this robot. Now robots are doing a lot of surgeries. I don't know if you know that, but like there's a lot. If you've seen those like arms, they'll actually just perform the surgery. So they use that.
And what's crazy sorry to interrupt
No, you're good. You're good.
But that I totally remember. Like seeing this years ago when the arms were like doing shit on like grapefruits or like oranges, and so it's crazy to hear you say because I didn't know that they were already doing it now, but I just remember like it had to have been like a good like maybe 10 years ago or something. Like I just always remember seeing on like Instagram people would be like, oh my god, look at this shit, it's like it's a fucking robot performing it, and it would like peel the orange skin and it would like peel it back and then like do shit like create. Dude, that's so crazy that you say that because like I said, that's why I'm having her talk about this because she's the one that brought it up. And it's like, obviously I know about it, but I'm not huge on like social media as much as I used to be. I go on like social media just like watch funny shit and like memes, but I'm not like I don't see like a lot of the breaking news. Like I don't get that shit like fucking recommended to me because all I watch is like really like funny shit or just like stupid shit or like crazy shit, you know what I mean? Like I get all the crazy videos like car crashes or like just like crazy, you know what I mean? I guess that's like my feed, but it's like I'm hardly like I go to work and then at work I'm not on my phone at all. Like at all. And then by the time I get home, I shower, I fucking stream, and then after that it's like by the time I'm done streaming, Jackie's off work, we do dinner and stuff like that. It's like so basically the only time I'm on my phone is like maybe like 30 minutes at the end of the night. Like and then I'm like scrolling through like Instagram or even like when I get home from work I'll be on Instagram like before I shower for like 5 minutes or something, but it's like I feel like I don't get to indulge in as much social media as I used to and I want to. So it's like I know about these things. I knew Elon Musk was like doing that, but I had no fucking clue that he already put one in somebody. That shit is crazy to me. Like that shit is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, for sure. And like, so I have some notes here because I didn't want to mess this stuff up. But like, so basically, the chip, it has like, supposed to have like this technology to where like, you can control it with your brain. So like, if you can't move your limbs, you know what I mean? They're able to like move a mouse with their mind and talk and communicate with computers. But
so what I'm wondering, are they seeing this shit or they're able to connect to a computer?
So it connects to the, you know how you don't think about moving anything.
Yeah.
You just
do it. But it is your brain.
It connects to those links in your brain. So it's sending these, I'm going to mess this up, but like, there's a better way to put this.
Neurotransmitters?
Neurotransmitters. in your brain, and it like sends those signals to this chip, and this chip
can connect to a computer though.
Yes.
But it doesn't have to be a special computer, or it could connect to any.
Your phone, computer.
But then that's another thing. Like, do you have to connect it like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, or it just can automatically I don't get it.
So,
like that's where I'm just so confused. Is like technology is crazy. Like,
so the
I
end
don't
goal
understand this.
for Elon Musk is that he wants to create an app that will eventually translate these signals and move the cursor, produce text in short, like Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
His direct quote was, "Imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a speed typist or an auctioneer," and that is his goal. Like he wants to give he actually named it telepathy. So, you know what telepathy is.
Yeah, like where
Yeah, so
where you can use your mind to transmit shit or whatever. Like, so basically that's what he's trying to do, is get your mind to be able to, so that since they can't talk or move, like you said, like Stephen Hawking, he was in the chair, and the only way he could talk was like pressing the buttons.
Yeah.
But instead of having to press those buttons, it's like you're not, excuse me, you're not. All you're gonna have to do is think.
Yes.
And it's gonna start putting out the words and but it's still gonna come from a computer though, not from you.
It's coming,
not
from
the
so
person.
it's like initiates some signals to the computer. I don't know the ins and outs of it because he hasn't actually. It's very hush hush. Like they haven't released too much info about it. But the N1 plant, I guess, is powered by a small battery, and it's charged wirelessly from the outside via a compact inductive charger that enables easy use from everywhere. So it's kind of weird because I was wondering about that too. Like, how does it power? Like, does it you have to lay? You know what I mean? Like, you have to put something up to your head to power it. Like, these are things we still don't know, and I think that's why there's so much craziness and people are kind of worried because when you think somebody implants something in your brain, you think oh my god, they're gonna we even talked about this earlier when I kind of brought it up. Is oh my god, what if you get a virus or somebody can hack that or control because it's implanted in your brain and controlling those waves. So if you can control that, what can it do to you?
Yeah.
And I think that's the big unknown right now. And people are very afraid of that technology because of that. Because it's true. When you think of that, you think of these movies where people sleeper agents or controlling people. It's just
and then that's the thing that I could already see it where these people the people who are just so I don't know what word to say, and I don't want to say the wrong word, so I'm just not even gonna put them in a category. Yeah. But just
take everything with a grain of salt.
That's why. So but what I'm trying to say is the people who are gonna end up being like he's trying to be the new Hitler or something. You know what I mean? That he's gonna put these chips in people, and then he's gonna make it seem something innocent, but then when he wants it, he's gonna rewire that shit, and they're all gonna be his zombies.
Yeah.
That could be that's going in my mind right now too. But it's of course, I'm not the type of person who believes that that's the direction he's trying to go with it.
Yeah.
I really feel like he is trying to help people because Elon Musk, as weird as people think he is or whatever, it's he's obviously one of those rich people that wants to better the world or he wants to do something with his money instead of him just having the money.
Yeah.
How a lot of these people, they just want more and more and more and they're not trying to help nobody else. Mm-hmm. He's actually trying to do shit with his money and how he did obviously fucking Tesla. He did electric vehicles because he whatever people want to say, he thinks electric vehicles are better for the world.
Yeah.
And then he did the whole fucking space shit. He's trying to make fucking rockets that will fucking be able to go places and probably in a without using as much resources and stuff like that. So from what I noticed from him, people have bad things to say about him. People have good things to say about him. Like I said, I'm not as indulged in anything, so if people want to get mad at me for being on his side, I don't know the behind the scenes or anything, but from what I can see, he's definitely trying to improve stuff. Yeah. He's not trying to fucking do this for an evil cause, I feel
I think with any technology, innovation, even AI, there's so many things before AI actually started coming out that people are still worried about, what if Alexa comes back? We've all seen those movies where the robots turn against us or blah, blah, blah. And I think those movies have given us this thought and this like kind of like bad look towards innovation in technology because people think that's what's going to happen. And I'm not saying it's not, because I can't tell the future. None of us can. But this tech has helped us in so many ways, even AI. Like, and that's what I'm kind of thinking about when it comes to this. Like, yeah, there could be it could be bad, but we don't know. It's all unknown, and people fear the unknown, and that's where we're at right now with a lot of tech.
That's the scary thing about the whole world, though.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is that we don't know about anything. We don't even know the day we're gonna die.
Yeah.
That's the scariest fucking part. And I feel like that's the scary thing about trusting and just believing in anything.
Yeah.
It's that you don't know. You don't know anything. And that's why I feel I'm the way that I am, is because I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm like one of the people who, and I'm not afraid of that though at the same time. I understand that this world is just full of fucking like surprises, I guess you could say, or like you just don't know. Like all I know in my mind is that I have work tomorrow, but I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen tomorrow. Yeah. Anything could happen while I'm out there at work. Anything could happen throughout the day. I don't know what's gonna happen the next day, and we don't know what's gonna happen with anything, and that's the fucking scary part. And that's where the divide in the world is so fucked and weird, where it's like none of us know, but yet there's so many people that believe they know what is gonna happen. So I just feel like that's where it creates this whole fucking divide.
Yeah.
Because there's people who think that know are gonna happen, and there's so many people else in the world that are just like, man, fucking relax. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's gonna fucking happen. Like, it's really fucking scary. But like you're saying, the whole thing with like all this AI and shit is like, it can help us in the long run, but then it definitely can fucking hurt us.
Yeah.
In a way.
You have to be optimistically cautious. I think probably is the best way to put it. Like, because like I worked in sales my whole life, pretty much customer facing roles, and I just got a degree. Like, well, I got my degree 2 years ago in computer science. So I learned, and I don't know I definitely don't know everything. I'm barely touching the surface of anything. But one thing like we went through was like the crazy stuff that people can do with tech, but also like how much it's helped us. And like even with like that, you know, when people always think like, oh, like if you say something and it pops up on your phone right after, there's a whole thing I think that went through, and I think that kind of tarnished a lot of stuff in people's minds, because it seems very weird, and it's true. It's like because a lot of these companies were using that tech in the wrong way. Yeah. So all we're seeing and all we have in our minds are like, okay, these people used it in the wrong way, and all we can see is the wrong, because it's easier to see the wrong than it is the right.
And the right, yeah.
So when we're getting all this new technology coming out, it's hard to see the good side of that technology because we're so tarnished with the bad that we've seen before. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it could be exciting. Like I said, I'm going to be optimistically cautious and just kind of take it day by day, because who knows? Nobody knows. Yeah. I mean, he could be like, I'm not saying
building an army. Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't know. That definitely,
we don't know. Nobody knows.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That crosses my mind too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it crosses my mind. But that's the other thing too that sucks, and like I feel like even Jackie knows that about me. But it can hurt you in the long run. But I just feel like this world is so full of unsureness, if I can even say that, if that's a real thing to say, that it's like I just try to think positive about everything. Yeah. Like I don't want to think negative. And that's the other thing. It's like I don't want to think that there's bad in people, even though I know that there is. Mm-hmm. But I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt until I see it myself. Yeah. Then once I see it myself, like if I meet somebody and I see them do something wrong, like, and I like already know, like I could already know, I'm like, damn, that's the type of person they are. Cut them off. Yeah. Immediately. And that's what I'm saying is like that. I just feel like I'm such a like I just try to see the positive in everything. It's like no matter what's going on, I just try to be like you know what, everything's gonna be all right. Like everything's gonna be cool. We're gonna be cool. Don't stress about nothing. Just because it's like I have gone through so many stages in my life that I know that there's no point in putting extra stress on yourself. Exactly. Or like it's like that. I've gone through that where I feared shit or like I was scared of shit, and it's like that just holds you back so much, or like it's just like like it just takes over you.
It weighs you down.
It weighs you down a lot. Like if you're so scared of life, or if you're so scared, it's like, dude, you end up not doing shit because you're like worried. And it's like, that's where I feel like the streaming shit has even helped me. Like where I was just like, I was so scared to start it. I was so scared of what people were gonna think about me, or like all the people from home, you know what I mean? I was like, when I do this shit, like people are gonna like laugh at me, or like people are gonna be like, what the fuck is this fool doing? You know what I mean? And it's like, but once I started doing it, I'm just like, bro, like I've gotten in such a mentality, like I can't like pinpoint when I got into this mentality, but like I feel like it was once I guess I can't pinpoint it. I feel like it was more once I got this house.
Yeah. Once
we got the house, and I was just like, bro, what can anybody really say? Like, okay, if you're gonna make fun of me for fucking streaming and like wanting to play games on stream and shit, it's just like, it's not like I'm doing it and don't have a job. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's such a different aspect of like, if I was like staying home all day and trying to pursue this, and like I wasn't going and getting a job and I'm just living like a bum or whatever. But it's just like, dude, I have a regular job. Yeah. I fucking own a house with my beautiful girlfriend who's fucking pregnant. Like, I'm living the fucking American dream right now. Yeah. Why can't I have my hobbies? Why can't I just do what the fuck? And that's when I was just like, bro, nobody's paying my fucking bills. Ain't nobody. Exactly. Why the fuck am I gonna worry about what other people have to think about me? It's just like, man, fuck this. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna just do what I feel like I wanna. Like, I'm at the age now or two where I'm just like, dude, I'm like set right now. To where it's like, I can chase my dreams now. I can do what the fuck I want to do. Yeah. Like what, and not care what anybody has to think about me. Because it's like, maybe it would get to me or care if like, people, because now people just be like, oh, you're a fucking bum, you're a loser. It's like, no, I'm not. I have a fucking house. Like, like so whatever they're going to say, it's not going to get to me because I know who I am. I know what I got going on, and I know that it's like, I don't need to care what anybody fucking has to say about me. Because it's just like, that's just, you know, I'm just in a good position in my life where it's like, I don't need to care what anybody has to think.
And I think that's a lot of like, especially like people's like, a lot of times when people project stuff like that, like hate towards other people for doing things.
It's because they want to be
exactly.
They wish they
could. And even though they may not realize it, because it's probably like deep down inside, they're like, damn, I wish that I could do that. Like
I had the confidence or whatever.
The confidence, or like I wish I had the, you know what I mean? Like, and that's not to put anybody down, but like it's true. Like a lot of times people just are, for lack of a better word, I guess, jealous that these people are doing and trying to do
what it is they want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And not being afraid of it, because a lot of people are afraid to be who they really are. And that's the fucked up thing in this world. That's what really like, I really like hate that about this world, is that the whole internet and everything has created such images that it's like people don't want to break those images. They don't want to be themselves. They want to be like other people, and that's what's scary. Because like you're saying, it's like how you're like, yo, it's kind of like what people are attracted to you because you're authentic, like you were saying earlier. And it's just like, because that's where and that's where I find my confidence, though, is like being able to hop on here and be myself. And that's where I build more. That's what's so crazy, is that once you start being yourself, I feel like it even builds your confidence more, because you see other people accepting you for being yourself. So then you're just like, holy shit, I can be myself, and people are gonna like it. Because it's like, I was fucking terrified. Like I was saying earlier, I was terrified to start doing this shit. I was like, I was scared at first to like, what are people gonna think of me? Or what are people gonna like, people are gonna make fun of me, or like yada yada. And like, I just remember always thinking that. But then, like I said, at a point I was just like, why do I care? Why do I care what people think? And even if they make fun of me, I'm having fun doing this shit. And then, like I said, and then you start doing it, and then you see that fuck the people who are hating. There's tons of people who are enjoying it and who are liking it. And then you're just like, holy shit, there are people out there who just want to see me be myself. Yeah. And then that's where the beauty of the internet can lie too. Because a lot of the people that come to my streams, dude, are from all over the world. I have a dude from Sweden that pulls up. I know a dude from Ireland that he comes. Dude, these people are all over the world. Fucking London, everywhere, like all over the place. Like I've even had people from like Africa, like coming to the streams and shit. And it's just like, these are just and what gets me even more is when there's fools that come in there and then they tell me too that like I inspire them to like want to start doing their own shit. And I feel like I've inspired a lot of these. Like there's a lot of these fools that ended up starting their own channel just from watching my streams because they're like oh like, and I always tell them too, I'm like, dude, if I could do it, you could do it. But it's really the one thing that a lot of people are afraid of, and that the reason why a lot of people can't do it is because it really takes the dedication though. I do this shit every fucking day. That's the thing. I try to hop on. Well, obviously it's like when we go on vacations or if we have shit to do, I'm not gonna hop on. But if I'm home, I'm getting on stream. And that's because it's like I just want to be able to like just grind it out because I know that that's what it takes. It's like the one thing too that in my mind that I have is like if I show my face as often as possible, there's no way you can avoid me. That's the one thing that I think about a lot. I'm like, yo, that's like kind of how you have to do it, and that's how a lot of these fools blow up. You were talking about Bevo earlier. Dude, people that don't even like know who he is have probably seen him though. Like if you were to mention somebody and they were to be like, oh, like by the name though, like you would probably be like, oh, do you know who Bevo is? And they're gonna be like, no, but then you're gonna be like, oh, that fucking dude, like he's kind of like fucking looks like Sid from Ice Age. He's kind of a little cockeyed and he swallows it, and then they'll be like, oh, I know who you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. It's like that is a big thing in the internet that a lot of people don't grasp onto. Is that you can make something happen just by constantly being in the mix. If you're just constantly, eventually people like and I've learned that lesson too because I've had people come into my chat and be like, hey, this is my first time tuning in, but I've seen you a bunch of times. But they're like, this is my first time actually clicking on your shit, and they're like, damn, I'm glad I clicked on your shit. And it's just crazy because it's really just about showing up a lot, like just being there. Because these days, YouTube is accessed more than TV. And it's like these kids are on YouTube all day long. So that's what I'm saying. If your face just keeps popping up over and over and over, eventually they're all just gonna gravitate towards you. Because that's the other thing why I remember when I started, I had told her, I was like the one thing that I really want to do though is try to do this every day. Because these kids are the attention span these days. The real deal though is like TikTok and shit because their attention span is so short. But what I mean, what also helps with that and like what I'm trying to say with this attention span thing is that they're not trying to wait for a TV show that comes on once a week. They're trying to watch something that they could watch every day, every second, so it's like, I'm not there 24/7. But the fact that they have something they could tune into every single day around the same time, it's like an addiction type of thing. They want it. They crave. They don't want to have to wait for a next like a whole week or some shit. It's like they want that instant gratification of coming back and being like. And then the live streaming shit is just a whole different realm because these fools love the interaction as well. They love not just being able to come there and watch you. They love being in the chat. They love all talking with each other and fucking around and just
like a community.
It's a whole community and it's insane. It's insane with this whole live streaming shit. And I love it. I love it. It's a crazy thing.
That's like the old school, like the David Dobrik's, the Jake Pauls, and they got a lot of hate. And I used to, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I used to hate on them too. But like, and they're not all great people. Like they're not. But they would post every day. And that was the one thing they did. And like when I would watch videos of these people and talking about how like they got where they got, it's because they were like, we were posting vlogs every day. We were consistent about it.
Recording
you have to be consistent about it because you're right. People, if they get it, they're gonna get more attached to you as you keep going on. And if you're posting every day, then they're gonna keep coming back because they're like, okay, yeah. And even if you're posting like 10-minute, 20 minute videos, they're going to want more because they're like, okay, well, because I find myself, like even on TikTok, I'll watch videos that I'm like, ugh, what is this? Like, and I'll see it 3 or 4 times again. I'm like, crap, I'm just going to watch it. And then I'll just start watching it.
And then you get to the end and you're like, fuck, I wish they posted more videos.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And like,
I'm telling you. And I learned that real fucking quick. But this is, because I used to watch a lot of live streaming before I started doing it. I still obviously tune into it and I still watch some, but it's so weird because I remember hearing this from the fools that I would watch streaming.
Yeah.
That because people would be in the chat like, oh, have you seen this video? Have you seen? Once you start doing YouTube, you don't watch as much YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you're on it. You're doing your shit. And it's like, and I learned that once I started doing mine. It's like, yeah, it cut back my YouTube watching a lot. But I used to watch a lot of these live streamers, and like the one thing that they always like really talked about and always said was like you're saying, basically with David Dobrik and all them, was like the consistency, and that this didn't happen overnight. And I just remember always embedding that into my head, like if I'm gonna do this, and that's the one thing that I try to tell all these other fools that come into my streams, and like these fools that really want to start their own shit. They always ask me for advice. I have a lot of these fools because like that's why I wanted to be on YouTube. Twitch has like an easy like to become a Twitch member or like an affiliate. I mean, not a member, a Twitch affiliate, like where you can start making money through Twitch or whatever.
Yeah.
They have like a super easy. I think it's like you have to only get like 35 followers or something like that, and then you can start making money. With YouTube, you have to get 1,000. You have to get your first 1,000, and on YouTube, it's so much harder to get 1,000. So it's like. I ended up hitting my 1,000, and it's like now I have all these fools that are asking me like, how the fuck did I do it? How did I do it? Like, can I get some advice? And the only advice that I try to tell them all the time is like, yo, the main thing I could tell you is don't give up, because you have to at least be dedicated for the first like 3 months.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you have to see where it goes the first 3 months, and then you can decide, do I want to keep doing this or not do it? Because you have to grind your ass off those first 3 months.
It's a skill.
Or nobody's gonna they're gonna see you and they're gonna forget about you right away.
Yep.
Especially if you're someone new, if there's someone they're barely seeing for the first time and you don't pop up again for like a couple days or a week or something, boom, you're already forgotten in their mind, especially with this day and age of their fucking attention span. You know what I mean? It's like boom, you're already gone in their mind. They're already on to somebody else. They're watching somebody who's posting every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I took it into initiative that I was like, dude, you have to just grind it out. Like I always tell these fools, I'm like, dude, stream as often as you can, even if you can't do it every day, as often as you possibly can, and just keep going at it for at least 3 months before you decide if you want to keep doing it or not.
Yeah.
If you want to see if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if you have the strength to keep going, which is like, I'm at the point too where I've been doing it, I think I'm like 2 years strong now, where I've been doing it every single fucking day, and it definitely can get crazy sometimes. A lot of the times I don't want to do it, but like I was telling you, live streaming is crazy because like I'll be in this mood, in this zone where it's like, dude, I'll be tired from work and I'm just like, dude, I just want to go lay down on the couch and like not do shit, but I'm just like, once I press this live button, there's no turning back.
Yeah.
So it's like boom, I hit it, and then it's even like the chat, I'm telling you, it's like the chat that really like, it's like I'll hit it. And I'll even be in the mood, like, sometimes I'll even be in the mindset of, like, okay, if nobody comes through, maybe I'll do, like, a 30-minute, hour stream. And then it's like, boom. As soon as I press the live button, I got, like, 6 motherfuckers in the chat. And then it just changes the whole, like, everybody's, like, excited. And it's like, they're like, oh, you're, like, what's up, Zerk? What's up? Like, blah. And then it's like, boom. And then it just gets you in this whole different, like, because then it feels like you're there with homies. Or, like, you're just like, oh, shit. And then it's like, next thing you know, like, that's where... Like, I've gotten in this mindset where it's like, it doesn't even feel like streaming to me sometimes. I really feel like I'm just kicking it here. And that's what I love about it. That's what I wanted to create with my shit. Even with this, it's like where I want to be comfortable, where I'm just like, I'm just being me. I'm just doing me. It's like, I even tell these fools all the time, if I wasn't the reason why I even started streaming is because if I wasn't streaming, I'd already be doing that. Jackie doesn't get off till 4.
Yeah.
I get home at like 1 o'clock, maybe the latest, like 2 o'clock. When I get home at that time, what would I be doing before she got off work? I'd be gaming anyway. Yeah. I'd be sitting here on my computer, but just with no stream going, with no camera on.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like, that's when I was really like, dude, I have all this little bit of extra time. I'm already gonna be gaming.
Like, what's it gonna hurt?
What's it gonna hurt? And that's what really made me try it. I was like, why not just see what I can do with this? And dude, it blossomed into something fucking, and it's crazy. And it's like, I don't like, of course, I'm 100% like. Acknowledgeable, or like I'm 100% in the mindset of like, I know I'm nowhere even near anything yet, but it's the fact of like I just want to keep the fact that I see steady growth and it is growing and I have this community. It's like that's what keeps me going. And I tell these fools all the time, you guys are the reason why I even do this shit. Because if you guys weren't showing up like this, if you guys weren't coming through to all these streams, if you guys weren't showing up, I wouldn't be doing this shit. I probably wouldn't be fucking like I wouldn't have the motivation to want to go live. But it's the fact that I know that once I click that live button, all these fools are gonna pop up and they're all there and they're literally waiting to come through to my streams and have a good time and just kick it and chill and like fucking talk and just play some video games. It's like, why would I want to do that alone if I have all these fucking people that are willing to do it with me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like you discredited yourself a little bit because a lot of people would love to be at 1,000. You know, like, or I don't know what your exact number is right now, but like a lot of people would cherish that, and that's exactly what you're doing. And I feel like you encapsulated that so like in such a great way, in such a great light, because you have, even if you have 2 or 3 people that come through, those are your OG people. Like, your people who will always be there for you. And, in 2 years from now, who knows? You could have millions. Like, and that's how a lot of people start out. And I think that's the big thing, especially with me, because I will admit I'm an instant gratification person. I feel like a lot of us are. So, like, if we don't get that instant gratification, we tend to give up.
What's the word
Diminish
for it? Like,
or
just the word I was looking for was more just like how what I was saying, like it demotivates you. There you go. Yeah, because I was thinking of the word motivate, but yeah, demotivate. It literally I can understand, and trust me, it's definitely that hits me every now and then where it's like, cause dude, I still even with the 1,000 I'm almost at 1,100, so I'm almost at my extra 100 after 1,000. Even with that, I'll have some streams where it's like I only have like 2-3 people there the entire stream.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I get off and I'm just like, man, today was a bad one. But then I always got to remember that every day's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you also got. See, that's the hard part about streaming is you can't let any of that get to you. That's the that's the crazy part about being a content creator, especially just starting up and trying to build your channel and trying to build your community, is that that's where I was telling these fools that like you just can't give up. It's like if this is something you really want and something that you're really trying to go for or trying to go towards, you have to understand that YouTube is it's a 1 in a million if you get the instant gratification, because there are some people that get it. Don't get me wrong, there's people that get it. There's like people who literally blow up on YouTube overnight, but it's like that's the thing. Some people look at that and they think that it's easy to do that, but it's like that's the 1 in a million. Everybody else, dude, even Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber right now, that fool was making videos since he was 13 years old.
Yeah.
It took him till about I think it was when we first moved over here. I was even watching him before we moved over here, so maybe like 2018 is when he really started getting like traction. Like I feel like even in 2018 he was probably getting like 100K views a video. And see, that's what I'm saying. Even at that point, he didn't even think he was big, and he was still trying to build up to what he is today.
Yeah.
And so if he was making videos at 13, and dude, so he was making videos since like 2008 or like 2000. Let's even say 2010. So from 2010, and let's just say 2020, because we're in 2024 right now, when he really like became huge was like maybe 2020, 2019. So 11, almost 10 years it took him to get to the point that he's at today. And I always try to put that into my head that it's like even the best motherfuckers that are out there, they didn't get to where they're at till 10 years. I'm only 2 years into this shit. Yeah. So it's like some stuff could definitely still get to me, but in the back of my head, I always remember that though. That it's like YouTube is a long run. Unless you're the 1 in a million. Yeah. And that's the thing. It could happen to me. You never know. It could happen to me any day that I could end up blowing up overnight. Yeah. But I don't want to put that in my head because then I feel like trying to think like that is what demotivates you every time. Because then you're like, dude, I'm never going to get to this. I'm never going to get to that. But it's like, no. I'm here for the long haul. I'm here for the long run, and I'm just going to keep grinding and grinding and grinding. As long as I see the numbers going up, maybe if I seen the numbers going up, if people were unsubscribing to me, maybe that demotivated me a little bit to want to stop. But it's like, at this point, I just keep seeing the numbers go up. Even if it's like 1 subscriber a week, like even if it's that, like if I'm getting 1 subscriber a week, as long as I don't see the numbers going down, that's what keeps me going. I'm just like why stop? Why, like if especially like I said, just because it's more like a hobby for me right now too. Of course, this is what I want, and I want to like be able to turn this into a job. That's like, of course, I think that's everybody's goal. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm having fun with it. If you're trying to get into this only to make money, that's when you're just all like, you're like a month in and you're just like, man, fuck this. This ain't worth my time. Or like, well, I'm not making shit off this. But I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to have a fucking good ass time and have fun and just have like something to do with my free time. And then I'm hoping it turns into something else.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, it's something you're already doing. So why not just try and do this other thing? And I feel like that correlates to a lot of things in life too. Like, a lot of people see people who are successful and they think, oh, they did it overnight. No, these people grinded. They grinded. Not everybody, but most people who are successful have grinded it out. There are, of course, cases where they just got it handed to them.
That's what I'm saying. The 1 in a million, though. Yeah. But it's like that. Though that's what's crazy is a lot of people try to base themselves off of that. Yeah. They base themselves off the 1 in a million, or they're like, oh, I want that. I want I want to blow up overnight, and that's where you get like this is a little bit of a tangent, but that's where you get like these people making like crazy videos of them like doing stupid shit because they think like, oh, this is gonna blow me up like overnight or some shit. Like, you remember Boom Gang or whatever? Do you remember that fool? You don't remember the fool that like him? But nah, he's not the one that I'm even thinking of. Boom Gang, he was definitely a crazy dude, but no, what about Put Him in a Coffin? You don't remember that? No, it was like a black dude. It was on Vine. It was on Vine. And he would just always say, he would record himself and he'd go into like 7-Eleven or something. He'd say, and he would just go, put him in a coffin. And then he just like goes like straight, he'd just fall straight back on like racks and shit and just knock shit over. Oh my God. And then it's like, and he's just like, but just to go viral. And like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's where these people are like, oh, like, I want to go viral overnight, or I want to go, and it's like, they do all this, the crazy shit. Like, they do this, like, what about when, like the people when they were doing like the Tesla autopilot and they're like in the back, like people were recording themselves like being in the back of the car. Oh yeah. And they're just letting the car drive, and it's like, that's what I'm saying, like for like instant gratification, because they knew that like, oh, this is gonna blow up. Yeah. And it's like that's where this world gets fucked up from that kind of shit, because like people want that. People that's want not sustainable. That. So it's not,
because those are trends and those are things that'll die out, and that's.
But then they see that 1 in a million of the people who make it off of just some stupid shit like that, like Catch Me Outside. Oh yeah. She made a whole career off of that shit, and that was just like a one overnight like little blow up bullshit.
The guy who, gosh dang it, oh I can't remember what he did. He was like, we met him in Vegas. It was my dad's birthday.
Oh no, I know.
Oh God,
These Nuts.
These Nuts guy. Yes, the These Nuts guy. We were in Vegas for my dad's birthday, and we saw him on the street. The Great. Yeah, and this dude, like, oh my God, poor guy. I feel like he got definitely, like, the people around him were not taking care of him.
No, they took advantage of that.
For sure.
See, he was had problems and shit. Yeah. So they were taking advantage. All the fools were taking advantage of him, like the people that were using him and shit.
I've heard that he's always been like on the Vegas streets, but this is the one time I actually met him. It was my dad's birthday, and he came. We saw him, and we had already been drinking, and I was like, "Oh, These Nuts guy," like, you know what I mean? And this dude had a bottle of Hennessy in his hand. He just hands my dad the bottle of Hennessy, and my dad, I'm like, "Oh God, germs." Yeah. But my dad just drank it, and it was just crazy because like it was such a niche thing that he did that died out. And I noticed a lot now, especially with TikTok. These people, like, they'll get TikTok famous for something, and some people will still be TikTok famous because they realize they have to change up. They have to change. They're not going to be, it's not sustainable just to be on that one trend, you know? Yep. You could go viral for something, but you have to, what's the next viral thing? You have to keep thinking. You have to keep being consistent with new things. And a lot of people will just do a trend, get, you know, TikTok famous or whatever, and then they'll kind of die out and go down. Because, like, right now on TikTok, I've seen a couple of videos about Vine stars. Mm-hmm. Like, these people would quit their jobs. Yeah. And where are they now? Mm-hmm. A lot of them...
Just because they had one video blow up, they're like, oh, I'm gonna become famous. Like, blah,
yeah, blah. And a lot of them are working regular jobs now, struggling. I saw a video of this guy, I can't remember his name. He was like, oh, he stitched the video on TikTok. He was like, that was me. I quit my job. I don't have my GED. I don't have a high school diploma. I don't have my GED. Like, basically, I kind of screwed myself because now I'm trying to get back into everything because I no longer have that platform. And Vine died so fast, and they're talking about banning TikTok too. Like, there's this whole bill going through, and who knows what will happen with that because I've tried it before. And I think these people are relying so much on those platforms. But that goes back to being consistent on YouTube because YouTube has been around forever.
And that's the other, dude, that's why I started, because people were always like, why don't you stream on Twitch? Why don't you stream on other things? I'm like, dude, because YouTube is the OG. They've been around. They're not going anywhere.
No.
They're not. They're solidified in the game. They're in the game. Like, they've been around since I was fucking, like, young.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't believe they were out when I was, like, born. But I think it was when I was young that YouTube came out. Because I literally remember being on YouTube and fucking when that shit was like, there was like only so many videos on there. Like, it's like you had to literally know what to search up if you wanted, like, Charlie Bit Me and all that shit. That was like those at that era. Yeah, Charlie Bit. And then they made the little remix with the song that was like, Charlie Bit Me.
Or did you ever see that, like, Harry Potter thing? Severus Snape.
Yeah.
Dude, I was, like, such my YouTube go-to, like, well, I was, like, an in-the-closet lesbian for so long. So, like, my whole high school career never came out to anybody. I had somebody, well, just to introduce myself to everybody. If it's not obvious, I'm obviously a lesbian.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I was in the closet for so long, I had to just stay hidden especially because I lived in Lubbock. I guess I'm kind of going off to a different thing now, but it was just so conservative over there that I did not feel like
comfortable.
Yeah, dude. I had high school coaches. I'm not gonna say the high school I went to would talk about my out teammates, calling them donut bumpers and like crazy hardcore stuff. And I'm like, I ain't coming out here like that.
They're gonna fucking.
I'm straight.
I'm straight.
You know. And so my go-to was always watching these lesbian or like Hannah Hart or like Grace Helbig or like Stevie Bobby. I think that was her name at the time. Like this like lesbian TikToks or not TikToks, YouTubes.
Yeah.
And that was my YouTube that I watched. And I would see these people have such followings, and like that was my aspiration. Like when I was younger, to be like those types of creators, and they did like food and just like funny stuff, like mostly comedy. And so that's the YouTube like I grew up with, because like I've never really been into video games. Like my attention span, even regardless before TikTok or any of that short form content came out, never been into like just video games. I buy video games, pay $60 for the game, play it for
like a couple days, and then you're just like
stop.
fuck it, yeah.
But
no, go for it.
But yeah, so like I think that's why like those are like I'm more like vloggy type. You know what I mean? Like I like those vlogs and stuff. And now like seeing the evolution of everything moving from like those types of creators to like these streaming creators. 'Cause streaming is a huge thing now. Everybody streams, like freaking Aiden Ross, like everybody's just streaming.
And then a lot of these fools that's what's so crazy is that's why. And then people are like, oh, look at they talk about like the most popular, they're like Aiden Ross is on Kick. Aiden Ross is like, but yeah, they're only there because YouTube kicked them off. And now these other people are trying to get other people to go to their platform, so they pay these big ass creators to get on their platform. Yes. So it's like that's why they're taking it, just because they're getting them back. It's like, of course, if they were to come to me, of course they would never come to me. But I'm just saying, if they were to come to me and be like, we're gonna give you this amount of money to come stream on our platform instead of YouTube, it's like, of course I'm gonna take it. That's why these fools are taking it. But that's what they don't realize, is that it's like those platforms aren't gonna last.
Yeah.
It's YouTube is where it's at, and that's why YouTube is the hardest though, because YouTube is already so solidified that there's already so many people on fucking YouTube. And that's why on Twitch, that's why they'd be like, oh, but you'll blow up so fast on Twitch, but it's because there's not as many creators on there. So it's easier for people to find your shit. When you stream on YouTube, there's so many other people streaming the same shit that these people are watching all different types of people, and they're not just only getting like what's the word? They're not getting like recommended your shit. Yeah. They're getting recommended a bunch of other shit at the same time. So it's like and then that's the sad part too, is that it really does work by numbers. They see they're more likely gonna click on the one that has 1.k viewers than the guy who only has like 10 viewers or like 7 viewers. I get like around 7 to 10 at like a time, and it's like they're gonna click on the other ones more. But then that's where the lower ones can that's how they're able to grow though, because what people come through to my streams for is because they get the interaction from me. You go to the big ones, you have to kind of pay to get your interaction. If you want them to like notice you, you have to like donate for the message to pop up on the shit, because their chats are so full and going so fast they can't read every shit. But when people come to my shit, I'm reading every chat and I'm acknowledging every person. And so like these people end up coming through to your some people, like these new people, some know that they'd rather go to a smaller stream because you're actually gonna talk to them. You're actually gonna be like, hey, what's up, man? Like, you're gonna read their name in the chat and you're gonna be like, hey, what's up, what's going on? But these bigger streamers, they're just gonna be rambling and going on whatever. They're gonna be doing whatever they're doing, because once you get to that point, you don't have to worry about reading the chat, because you already know people are there just want to watch what you're doing. So it's like you don't even have to focus on what's going on in the back scene. You just got to do what you're doing. And then it's like people are just going to be there watching you and shit, you know? And
that's not to say these other apps are bad, because those other apps can help you get more viewers.
More, yeah.
Because we talked about this too. We talked about putting, you know, short, like, me helping you take short, taking clips of your stream and putting them on TikTok, because, you know, if you, going back to what we talked about earlier, if you're shoving, this is probably not the right verbiage, but shoving this content down people's throats in short form content, they're gonna want to watch more, and they're gonna come over. Okay, well, where can I watch more?
Yes, but see,
link to YouTube.
But then that's the thing, is that's why I focus YouTube, and I'm down to venture off into other things, but YouTube is my main. I want everything to come back to my YouTube.
Yeah.
Is because YouTube is what's gonna last the longest. YouTube is already what's the strongest. It's the fucking the mold or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. YouTube is where it's all at. But yes, for sure, that definitely is a thing though, that all that other shit can help you just get more of an audience brought into YouTube. But I still feel like YouTube is the dominant out of everything. You have to. That's the other things these fools don't understand, is that no matter what, YouTube should be your priority spot. But then that's the thing. That's why these fools go to the other platforms, because they are not dedicated enough to grind the YouTube shit. Yeah. Because YouTube is the hardest one, but it's the hardest one because of that reason, because it's the most solidified. And like I said, you go to YouTube, there's 1 million creators on YouTube, or more than 1 million, maybe even 1 billion creators on YouTube. Sure. And on Twitch, there's probably not even 1 million. Yeah. And on the other ones, there's way even less, like Kick and all the newer ones. There's way less. So it's like, you can end up getting more viewers on that shit, but YouTube is you need to do that secondary to YouTube and get those people to come to your YouTube, because YouTube is what's going to last in the long run forever. Yeah. And YouTube is the hardest one to build, and I feel like you get more respect from YouTube because it's hard, and everybody knows it's hard. Mm-hmm. A lot of people who have tried YouTube know how hard it is to build an audience on there and get those subscribers. Yeah, because like I said, I've known people who they'll have so-and-so on Twitch. They'll have like 2,000 people on like Twitch, like following their shit on Twitch, but then their YouTube is only like 50 subscribers or something. And then it's like they can't get people to come to their YouTube. And it's like, and then they just stop doing YouTube because they feel like, oh, I'm not getting nothing on there. But then it's like, the longevity is just where it's at. I'm more looking at it in the long run, because like I said, I just know that this is gonna take more than just a year or two. It's a long thing that you have to be willing to just like go through and put up with, and I'm in it for the long run, and I'm just excited to see where my YouTube could go, and especially this now, what we're gonna start doing. We can see where it's gonna take us, because man, I'm excited for it, because like I said, me, you, the creative shit that we both have in our heads, but we like are struggling to get out, and we can do it together now though, is gonna be amazing. Just the ideas that I feel like we're gonna be able to give each other, and the ideas that we're gonna be able to execute as well with each other, and the fact that we can help each other with different platforms as well. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, like you're saying, it's like, I don't have a TikTok. I want to make a TikTok just so I can start posting shit on TikTok, and like I want to. Like you're saying, you want to start posting my shit, but then with your shit on top of it, and it's like, that's just only going to get me more people, and then vice versa. I can even get people going to your shit, and it's like, that's just the thing with, I feel like the internet too, is like, you have to be open to collabing. Yeah. Because that's how you really get different audiences. Like you
Networking, bro.
work with other
Networking.
people, and then their audiences go to your shit, and then your audiences go to their shit, and it's like that's just how it's just a whole melting pot of people, and it's like yeah, all these people are just wanting content, man. That's the new era. It's like people are just obsessed with content. They just want to watch. Like I said, the attention span is so short that they just want to watch new shit all the time. So it's like if you're constantly giving them content, they're gonna watch it. People are gonna watch it, regardless if you start off with 3 people watching it. Eventually, people are just gonna grasp onto it. You know what I mean? More and more and more people.
Yep. Just consistent, and I'm excited to see where this is definitely gonna take us, and it's definitely gonna be a new avenue for me, and I'm hoping this will like even project me to do more creative things that I've always wanted to do that I've been just too afraid to do.
Yeah.
And just see where it goes.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, this is the start of it all. So I feel like that was a good one.
I do too.
I mean, we definitely went in on it. I think we went.
Hey, we're certified yappers over here.
We definitely went a little longer than we thought we were going to. Hey, but I honestly would have rather it gone longer than it go shorter and be like fuck, like we didn't.
What are we gonna talk about?
Yeah, what are we?
Like,
But yeah. Hey, it's obvious that we got good chemistry going,
for sure,
and that we're able to yap about a lot of shit,
yeah.
and like that's the good thing though. Is like I'm not afraid of that, or I'm not like upset at that one bit, because that's good. That's like what you want. You want.
Yeah.
This is what people want. They want yappers. They don't want people who are just gonna sit here and be quiet.
Yeah.
So the fact that we are able to keep these conversations going, and the fact that like we could be talking about something and then it just takes us off into a whole nother tangent.
Yeah, like,
it's like yo, no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's like so they say in like professional podcasting that isn't a good thing, but I mean for what we're doing, I feel like it's great because we're not, like I said, we're not holding ourselves in a bubble. I feel like it's only a bad thing if you're trying to stick to a certain subject.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to talk about something the whole podcast and then you keep going on into tangents, but that's why I don't want to hold this into a bubble, so we can be able to do this and it's no big deal and it's no problem, and like it's just, we're just being us. We're just doing our thing. So
I agree 100%.
Well, fucking it was never a phase podcast. It was never a phase.
Take one.
I would say this is it.
Yeah,
that was it. So fucking checking out, signing out. Let's do it. Hey, that was good.
That was pretty good, yeah.